So in this video, I'm going to talk about trading options and how to cut losers quick. Trading options is very risky. You can make a lot of money, but you can also lose it just as fast. And I know I constantly talk about the thing that works best for me when I'm trading options is to go quick or just get out. And I want to show an example on how I cut losses pretty quick trading Tesla on October 16th that prevented me from having a big red day, which is obviously very important when it comes to managing risk to be able to constantly put up consistency. So now let's just get into the technicals. Top-down approach, like always. This is Tesla. The daily is on the left and the 30-minute is on the right. So checking that daily out, some of the things that I use to be able to try to come up with a trade idea is tight daily patterns and moving averages. When price action gets tight, and especially tight near those moving averages, that's where I think big moves can come from. So looking at that daily chart, Tesla looks pretty tight. It's above the 9 EMA. I'm a big fan when stocks are close to the 9 because a lot of times that's where some big moves can come from, especially if it's a momentum stock. Tesla is definitely a momentum stock. So now it's just about, okay, what kind of levels could I possibly trade around? And as you can see, that red candle on the prior day, a little bit of an indecision candle. If we get above that, prior day's high, big fan of using prior day's highs on strong stocks, 456.57, get above that. Maybe there's room to 460, 465, and Tesla has earnings this week. So I was thinking maybe there could be a pre-earnings run-up. And then looking at the 30-minute chart, it was trending in pre-market and it was getting close to that prior day high. So I was looking for a long on this. Now I'm not going to get married to the idea, but just knowing that there is the possibility that if it clears prior day's high, maybe this could get going. So now that I have the technicals and I have a level in mind, what I'm doing, like I always do, is I wait for a technical pattern. I'm a big fan of opening range breaks off the open and flag patterns. So all I have to do now is just wait for that and then try to get a good entry. So here's Tesla a handful of minutes into the open. And as you can see right here, this looks like a pretty clean opening range break. So the opening range is right around 455 down to 451. Looked like it wanted to go lower. It has since had a quick move higher, reclaimed VWAP, and now it looks like it's about to move over highs. To me, that's a really good opening range break setup, and also knowing that prior day's high is above. Looking at the 455 calls, so just $1 out of the money, and I'm only trading 5 because Tesla's a little crazy and it's also Friday. If I could critique myself here, a better entry would have been around 454, maybe even 454.50s. But as you see, I kind of flip-flopped with the strikes a little bit. So now I have everything loaded the way I want. I'm looking at the 455 calls. The spread is nice and tight. So right there, tape started to speed up, 455 whole number. Got long right there, 418 fill. Now what I want to see is that was a really nice bullish candle, nice opening range break, prior day's highs above. Tesla is a big mover. If it has momentum, it should get going and go quick. Now I'm just watching the tape. Got above 455, just broke the opening range high, prior day's high above, and then the tape starts to speed up. So it looks pretty good. I see the green line above. I'm trying to hold out for that because if we get above prior day's high, I think it has some momentum. And then it kind of just stops right before prior day high. And if Tesla gets going, it really gets moving. So the moment it starts to slow down, I just get out of the trade. When it comes to Tesla, it's either go quick or just get out of the trade. I can always reevaluate. So I ended up getting out of that trade because I did not like that it made a new high and then quickly came back down to 455. If Tesla really wanted to go, it should have went up to 456 and kept going very quick and held above that. And as you can see, I made 43 bucks. So technically it was a flat trade. I have no problem getting out, taking a small loss, possibly even a break-even trade, and then let it possibly set up again. And then here's where I see another opportunity on Tesla. So it pulled back, right? I'm really glad I got out because it struggled to continue to move higher, broke VWAP, broke some of the moving averages, sold off, avoided that pullback entirely, just waited for another possible setup. And another setup that I really like is when a stock looks like it's going to sell off, especially a name like Tesla, broke the low of day, looked like it could possibly fill the gap, double bottomed in that 451 area, and then reclaimed VWAP. That VWAP reclaim, high day squeeze is a setup that I'm a huge fan of, and especially on a momentum stock like Tesla. So what I'm doing now is I'm just watching it. 455 seems to be a big area of resistance. And I think if we can get through 455, there's a chance that it could break some of the technical levels above, which is high a day, 455.95, and also prior day's high. So having some technical levels above, a strong daily chart, everything lining up. And now I just need to wait for a technical pattern. So I'm waiting for some sort of flag pattern right around 455. And I want it to go quick, or I'm just going to get out. This looks really good. If there's anybody who's shorted below VWAP, and then this is obviously since reclaimed VWAP, I think they're jammed. And the higher this goes, the more pain I think they'll feel, and then they will want to get out of the trade. Stop losses will get triggered, and it'll possibly create some momentum. Now, whether or not it does that, I have no idea. The only thing that I can do is just know those technical levels above and then wait for some sort of pattern. So as you see here, this is above VWAP. It's above the 9 EMA. It's above the 20 SMA, 455 being a big area of resistance. If it can get through that, I think that it has some room up the prior day's high and then possible continuation of momentum. So now I just have to see if it can set up and I can get a clean entry. Starting to look like a tight flag. I have my options preloaded, the 455 calls. So once it gets up to 455, it's going to be right at the money. Spreads are tight. I'm only trading 5. I don't want to trade too big. It's a Friday. I don't want to push it. And I also don't want to have a huge loss if I'm wrong. So now I'm just being patient, waiting for the flag to set up because that looks pretty good. I've seen this many times where Tesla creates some sort of flag above VWAP near high a day, and it usually goes. It doesn't always go, but it has a high probability of continuation. And that's all I'm looking for. Just high probability trades. They're not always going to work, but when they set up, I got to give it a shot. And it either goes quick or I just get out, especially trading options. And this looks real good. And I get long right there. So just before the 455 break, I'm trying to anticipate it just a little bit. And the reason why I like to anticipate it a little bit is because if it moves into 455 and then stuffs and starts to roll over, the loss won't be as big. So I always try my best to anticipate when I can. Want to see this go fast. That's a very clean flag, technical levels above. Tesla can catch momentum. Everything is aligning, but I'm not going to get married to it. If it doesn't go quick, I'm still just going to get out. And we're going up at the 455. And this is where I want to see it really go. Goes above 455, everything looks good, and then it comes right back in. So it did not clear 455 with the speed that I was looking for. I'm all about tape speed, and I want to see things clear and go very fast. And when it doesn't clear 455, I start to think, maybe this was a fake out, and I get out of the trade right there. The moment that it put a little topping tail on that 1 minute candle, I just got out. And it may seem like I'm not being patient enough to let things work, but when it comes to trading Tesla, I don't want to be overly patient. I've been in plenty of situations where I try to hold on for a few minutes and I end up just getting burned. If a stock is a little less expensive, like a Roku or an Apple, maybe I'll give things a minute or two because I know that it's not going to move points really fast. But with Tesla, I'm extra careful. And if it doesn't go fast, I just bail on the trade. And to have taken 2 trades on Tesla and only be down 50 is fantastic. That's about as good as it gets when it comes to risk management for me. When I have losses on Tesla, they are normally a lot bigger. But I just did a really good job at either go right now or get out of the trade. And keep in mind, I'm definitely not perfect. I have my days where I take losses that are bigger than normal, but overall, I've gotten much better since I started trading. And that is a key factor in becoming consistent when it comes to trading. So that was the trade recap. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.